Alright, so this video, if you listen to what Shelly says, you might think that it's a repeat of the last video with Shelly. It's not. This one is after the one and only attempt, half-assed attempt, by Miss Shelly to pretend that she was going to do her job as a mandatory reporter. Close enough, right? No, I can't defend myself against this abuse. You know, Miss Shelley may have had the grandest thing in her head, but when it comes to putting it into action, she just didn't. And we're going to hear in this video, same as we heard in the last video with her, where she's wanting to focus on the housing, but this is also the video where she beats around the bush, but blames Melissa. Meanwhile, the things that she is saying about Melissa, I have no problems believing them. I don't have any issues believing that she's telling the truth about Melissa doing that, but that's because I was in the office when Melissa was telling at least two other peers that same exact thing. So when Miss Shelley came back and said that basically that Melissa wasn't going to let her, well, we're going to have to go through the police video and we'll listen to all the promises that Shelley made. She makes a lot of promises, just doesn't follow through. And that's the problem when it's a disabled homeless man. Everybody's got all these ideas of all these resources that help out people in houses and junkies and felons. I don't have a house. I'm not a junkie and I'm not a felon. Makes no sense. So let's get started on this video. Sorry, audio recording.
Fair enough. I haven't tried the goldfish ones. I like goldfish. They might be good as red hot. I put spicy stuff on pretty much everything. It's just out of date.
You notice I'm still talking nice to her. Kind of like the conversation that I had with her before. You get to tell I am talking extremely nice to her, despite the fact that I want to scream in her face. I'm working on quote-unquote small talk, which is a waste of time, it's a waste of space, and it is a waste of mental energy.
Potato chips, they're all flaming hot. Eventually gets to the point where my tongue's going.
So what happened the other day, on Friday, with the officer dropped you off? What happened?
I went in the backyard and I stayed there.
So, what happened on Friday, right? On Friday, well, an officer showed up. He didn't take a report and he didn't take the situation seriously. He told me to go get a protection order. It was beyond a protection order, well beyond a protection order after the first assault, after the second assault, after the third assault. No, these are assaults. They need to focus on the fact that there is recorded evidence of these assaults. There's also all of the situations that I'm having to deal with where I have to hide out in this backyard. Now, that thunk this morning, was that an assault against me? Was that somebody trying to scare me? Was that somebody working in the yard? I don't know. I stayed in my tent.
I haven't seen you Monday or Tuesday, so I'm assuming things have been okay.
I hide out in the backyard, so I hear people going by and doing the same stuff they were doing before, just not as much because they don't see me. Apparently, seeing me is encouraging to these little asswipes.
Well,
They still drive by occasionally and scream the F word out the window, or scream the N word when they see me walking down the road. But with me being in the backyard, they're basically just yelling at the house. Like, there's people in the house who they own the place, so they have rights. Unlike me, the people who own the place have rights. If these people put a rock through these folks' window, yeah, they're going to be pissed. So it's probably a good time for these people to stop pulling the vandalism thing.
I mean, it sounds like
If they see me, if it gives them an excuse to harass me. Whereas if they don't see me, they don't know if I'm there, they don't want to get in trouble for harassing people who live there.
so. That's another reason why I want to find you an apartment so you have your own place that's safe.
Yeah, we've been doing that since too.
You notice that, the last session that we had before this, it was about, I don't know, 2 weeks before this, where she was saying the same stuff about an apartment. No, I still have to go out into public. Whether I'm in this tent or in an apartment, I still have to go out into public. This is what these people are going out of their way to ignore. Meanwhile, obviously, this is almost a month, maybe over a month, after that call where she was saying the same exact things. Or, sorry, recording where she was saying the same exact things. But she hasn't done anything. And you got to hear in the last recording how she was talking about that paperwork and talking about the email and so on and so forth. You're going to hear the same stuff in this one. The same exact stuff, as if she didn't hear it a dozen times previously.
2022, the assaults have kept on since then.
But we haven't gotten you an apartment yet.
Right, but I've been filling out.
Exactly. We haven't gotten me an apartment yet. Oh, once we get an apartment, these people are magically going to stop? Is that what she thinks? She thinks that the people who harass me when I walk out of my tent and got to go down the street, she thinks that those people are going to ignore me when I'm walking down the street out of my apartment to go get groceries? This is insanity. This is not using common sense. This is not using her deductive reasoning skills. This is just talking out her backside. As if it's just one person, and if I ignore them, it'll stop. That doesn't work, stupid.
Paperwork, that's the thing about all these different places that I've been running around to. I fill out the paperwork 100 times if I have to. I filled out housing paperwork here in 2022. I filled out housing paperwork at the Northwest Senior and Disability Center. I filled out housing paperwork at TFCC.
Here, but you said you did some with
I did more of them with Russell, yes, ma'am.
Okay, trying to find those. So,
Still trying to find them. She's still trying to find them, as if that one right there. Like, it literally took trying to turn her and Melissa in so that I could even get an acknowledgement, because I needed Russell to verify I told the truth. At this point, I'm getting put through the ringer. I'm having to take assaults. People are throwing stuff at me. People are screaming at me. Since 2022, just here in Tillamook alone. And of course, we're right back to the same thing we were at a month earlier. Like, she forgot and then she remembered in the middle of it. Okay, well, what did you do? What did you do that was useful towards housing? Because obviously you're not working with me for housing. You keep on claiming that you're going to look through it in the email. You got to hear in the last video, I offered to redo the paperwork. I do the same thing in this video. I say I'll do it again 100 times if I have to. Obviously, I'm willing to rewrite the paperwork. I'm willing to redo the applications. The thing is, it doesn't matter which of these places I'm going to, I'm not getting housing. The housing thing is not happening. We need to focus on the fucking abuse. Jesus goddamn Christ. Oh, you're just gonna ignore the abuse because housing? I'm not in housing, so it's okay? Is that what you're saying, Shelly? Like, this makes no fucking sense.
The reason why I'm saying this is because Friday, my supervisor made it clear to me that if I'm going to be meeting with you on a weekly basis as your case manager, that we have to be engaged in looking for housing for you as well.
Well, that's what I've been doing.
Right? Housing as well. But then the things that she said that she was gonna do have been phased out. The as well part, yeah, entire focus. It's not as well, it's their entire focus. They're not doing anything about housing. I offered to redo the paperwork. She says she'll check the emails, and again, nothing happens. Just because somebody talks nice and makes promises doesn't mean that they're a nice person or that they're going to fulfill those promises.
The whole time. The thing is, I'm supposed to go to these different places that are supposed to be advocacy because I'm a disabled person and I can't protect myself from these predators. I go to these advocacy agencies. All of the advocacy agencies want me to fill out the housing stuff. So I fill out the housing stuff. It's not like I've been against filling out the housing stuff.
Right.
I'm against doing it over and over and over again.
And then, of course, Melissa wanted to try pulling this stuff like I wasn't trying housing. She should have never called me. That was an inappropriate call. Now, talking nice is fine and dandy. Talking about the things that you did, it would be a lot easier for me to believe that you did those things if you either A, did them with me, or B, provided some kind of proof.
And while nothing is being done about these
Well, you shouldn't have to do anything over and over again. So what she's talking about...
But I have had to do the same thing over and over and over again. I have had to repeatedly try to turn in physical assaults, threats, and harassment against myself and my family, hate crimes committed against me. I have repeatedly had to try to turn that in to TFCC, to the people that care, to the police. I can't turn it into the police. I can't turn it into the police without a friend or family member that gives a shit, because none of these programs that you guys are paying for are actually helping us.
Is that when we meet, that basically I was given a directive that, and you are free to, report that you don't agree with it, whatever. I just am letting you know. So basically what she explained to me is that,
You hearing that? She's having problems getting it out. She's having problems saying it. Now, who's the supervisor who's telling her whatever it is that she's trying to spit out? Whatever it is that she's choking on that she needs to say. She's going to delicately try to reword it. She says I'm free to turn it in. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I've been trying to do since I first went to TFCC and first went to CARE. And was blown off and treated like a delusional fucking nut job on drugs. Meanwhile, I didn't get my file. None of the stuff that she claimed does she have any proof of. Obviously, I don't have it. But what I do have is proof that I told the truth about the situation. I went to these people repeatedly. I went to all of the places that I was told that are supposed to help me, and none of them helped me. None of them helped me. What they did is help their coworkers at TFCC and at the police department with getting away with crimes. And then after I'm released from 15 months in jail where they literally tried again to frame me for a crime I didn't commit. And they failed. And when I get out, well, then all of the stuff that they're quote unquote helping me with is the shit that I didn't need their help with until all that shit got stolen. Not only that, it was literally police officers and deputies who stole a bunch of that stuff. Not that this woman gives a shit. Once I get in an apartment, these cops are still going to be just as crooked. Once I get in an apartment, I still have to go out in public to go shopping. Where am I going to come up with the money for this apartment? Obviously, they haven't helped me out to get the back pay for my disability, which was pretty important. Shelly hasn't done any of the things that she was supposed to do. None of them. Everything that I have now that I got through care, every single bit of it is because Russell put in the effort.
Then in the appointments, we need to be doing your housing navigation, which just, is based.
Which is what? Which is me saying, I already filled it out. I gave it to Russell. If you want me to fill it out again, I will. I'll fill it out 100 times if I have to. Let's get it out of the way so we can do something about the abuse. But instead, what are these people doing? They're obviously not helping me get housing. They're obviously not doing a thing about it. As soon as Russell stopped, that's when everything stopped. And Miss Shelly is still getting paid for this job after all this time.
Basically, following up on your applications, which you've done what you need to do.
Voila! See? Magnifique! I did the housing stuff. She admits that I did what I was supposed to. Thank God, hallelujah. But then, of course, I still get treated by her coworkers like I wasn't trying to turn that shit in. Like I wasn't trying to fill out the housing paperwork. Like I wasn't making the effort. Thank goodness Mr. Russell was there.
And she wants us to stay on the topic. Now,
that's the thing, is that the topic is the ongoing abuse and the fact that that's what forced me into homelessness to begin with.
Right,
that's why there is a safety issue. That's why there's difficulty getting into housing. That's the reason that it's so difficult for me to go to police. And this is the reason why I'm so angry about having to go around in circles.
So I'm not trying to send you anywhere else.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Except that she wanted to continually tell me that she was going to make phone calls to get me the quote unquote help that I need. Well, she wasn't specific about who she was calling or what help that it is that she thought I needed. The help that I need is help turning in this systemic abuse, because this is not okay. Now, maybe we should ask her in specific who her supervisor is. Obviously, it's a her.
I have never had a parameter put around me as to who I can serve or consider engaged based on whatever they're going through. So this is a new this is, I don't know, is what I'm saying, basically. But
What we need is safe housing. Safe housing. If you're going to stuff me in a bunch of apartments with a bunch of schizophrenics, I am not going to do well. If you're going to stuff me in some apartments where all of the other tenants are friggin' druggies, I'm not going to do well. That's a fact. If you want to stick me in an apartment where my next door neighbor is a child molester, we're definitely going to have issues. Of course, I can't say we'll definitely have issues without you guys pretending it's a veiled threat. No, if I threaten you, I'll tell you straight up what I'm going to do. If I threaten you, you will know beyond any shadow of a doubt that it's a threat. My predators have made absolutely no qualms about the situation of actually threatening my friends and family because Natalie and Alicia Bollinger wanted to pretend that I threatened their family. That is not fucking okay. And it's not okay for Shelly to keep pulling this bullshit. I'm taking abuse and they're looking the other fucking way. Jesus Christ. So obviously it's not Miss Shelly's fault. She's just doing what her supervisor told her to do. Who's her supervisor? Melissa. What did Melissa say in the very same channel that we're recording on now? You get to hear Melissa say that that's not something she would do.
I don't know if she's gonna like really try to enforce that. I'm hoping not. I'm fighting. I'm trying to fight against that.
Well, one of the
But
things.
I think that we have made steps forward, and that's why
Russell
like,
made steps forward.
I was gonna actually put you actively engaged and keep you on my caseload for weekly meetings, right? Because I think we have made progress, and so
No, me and Russell made progress because Russell listened. Maybe not very well all the time. He talked over me an awful lot during situations where he was wanting to tell me what other people had told him. And okay, I also need the names of the people who told you that. Kind of like Shelly. Did she outright say Melissa?
I just wanted to give you the heads up because I don't want it to be a case of I wanted to give you the heads up in case something was said to you that you've got to be engaged in this, which
I have
is
been.
not true. Yeah, but I mean it's
But as far
you
as
are making steps forward.
as far as the caseload goes,
I'm not making any steps forward. I'm dependent on others. I am dependent on others for my safety, for my protection. I am dependent on others because I can't take care of myself. I'm dependent on others because instead of people teaching me how to do this stuff, they tell me that they're going to do it and then they never follow through. So I don't know how to do any of this shit. What I know is that I'm being victimized that I can't even turn it in. I've got so much evidence in here, there's enough evidence to take down everybody who works at TFCC. There is enough evidence to take down half of the people who have worked at CARE since 2022. There's evidence enough to take down half the people in the hospital. When it comes to disabled adults trying to turn in abuse, obviously you have to have a friend or family member who knows what the fuck is going on. Is Russell going to open his goddamn mouth? You got to hear him not opening in his mouth at all while Sean was there. So what's he going to do when I have to try to make a phone call with him, apparently after Christmas? What's he going to do? What is Russell going to do in that situation? Probably what his boss told him to do. I don't care if these people lose their jobs or go to prison. I don't. Because they're not doing their jobs. You want to treat me like shit because of the desperate things that I am forced to do. But you get to hear. Obviously, I am forced to do them because these people will not help. All these places you guys want to tell me to go to CARE, go to Tides of Change. No, go fuck yourself.
everywhere that I go, the safety issue is directly with the police and me being a homeless person, and specifically the bias that goes with that. All of the stuff with Natalie is stuff that any person in the public who's interested in true crime probably has seen, whether or not they remember it, is arbitrary.
Now we can go ahead and go through this whole thing, but again, I gotta try to locate my wallet. Now there's a bunch of homeless people keep trying to tell me that the guy who helped me stole my wallet. Now, since he was the only dude, he's literally the only person who's ever been in my tent other than me. If it was stolen from my tent, he would be the only person who would have done it. But the thing is that if you don't have proof, why make the accusations? Like, I've had to listen to 3 homeless people so far tell me that this Seth Jordan feller stole my wallet. When I asked them the important questions, did you see him with my wallet? Well, no. Then how do you know he stole it? I want my wallet back. I don't want a wild goose chase. I also don't want to go making false accusations. If you saw the dude with my wallet, that'd be something else. But you didn't. You're just assuming. And obviously not you, the viewers watching this. Not that any of my viewers actually care. My viewers tend to be the people who have victimized me over the years. They just make new accounts over and over again, just like Tim Beeson, Ted Bollinger. Disgusting shits. See, here's the thing about Alicia Bollinger and Natalie Bollinger and this stalking, is that it hasn't stopped. They did everything in their power to destroy my life, and the police did everything in their power to prevent me from showing the goddamn truth. Doesn't matter how nice she wants to say this shit. Obviously, she's not doing her fucking job, and I'm the one taking it up the ass.